In part 1, we looked at how to develop the distance formula. In part 2, we're going to put this in a separate library. So over here, I'm going to highlight the function distance formula, and then my beginning to my closing curly bracket, and I'm going to cut that. And I'm going to bring up a new web page. I'll paste that in, and that's the only code we'll have in there. Then I'll do a file save, change this to all files, and I'll call this distance.js. Okay. Now over here, since the code's now gone, I'm going to import that in. So I'll say source is equal to, and I call that distance.js. Now if I save that, let's go run it. Got 5, 2, 5, and 6. And I click calculate, and it still works. What's the benefit of this? Well, having it in a separate library now means I can reuse that code in any web page. Anytime I want to calculate the distance formula, then I can just bring in this manner and use it. So it makes it so that you're not putting that same code in 100 different web pages potentially. And even more than that, you can share libraries. Now, how do you determine what it's doing? Well, this probably needs some more comments in here. I'm not going to put them in there, but this would outline exactly what does this function do. I mean, you can see from the parameter list what do you need to pass in. We need to pass in 4 numbers. Now, I don't specifically say numbers on here, so that's where you'd have to read the code since I don't document it. And then when I say return distance, that kind of tells you what's being returned. Now, that's how to use libraries. Now this, since I didn't put any kind of other path on this, this has to be in the same directory as the HTML file. Let's look at a web page. So bring up this one, I'm going to right click on it and say view page source. Now you see here, it looks like we're bringing in a script file. Splash, scripts, jQuery, plugins.min.js. I have no clue what it does. We'll look at it here in a minute. Make that a little bigger. There's jQuery, min.js, plugins, ultimate slider. Probably. See how these are changing the images? Now that I say it's not changing. There it goes. Probably that right there, that sliding you see right there, probably is being done by this particular library. So this is where Kali doesn't have to reinvent the wheel. These are probably scripts that they bought or that they found for free. So if I don't know if I click that, if it'll come up in a separate page. I guess it does. You see I got this JS here. Now you see this isn't documented very well. I have no clue what it's doing, to be honest. I mean its general function. I would guess that it's doing those transitions you're seeing. But see how there's block fade in, block shrink, block grow, block drop in, block fly out. So over here, okay. jQuery.extend, I'm assuming it's passing in the somewhere the parameters for that. Oh, that's interesting. Here's an ASP. I didn't realize we were using that at all. I guess we're doing that for the mail. Sometimes these libraries are pretty embedded on what it all does. I'm going to do a search on extend. Let's see if I can do a extend. See, and it's I'm not finding it anywhere, so it must be buried in some other bit of code. Now here's some JavaScript, and guess it's redirecting it if it appears you have a mobile device. It's always a good idea when you're learning is just look to see what other people are doing. Now you notice that we have script, we have script, we have script, so you can have separate lines. So if you're wondering, well, how do I bring in two libraries? If I got another library for the midpoint formula, well, you just have another script line here. It would look something like this. Script type equals text JavaScript, source equals midpoint.js. So that's how you bring in multiple ones. And then I could use whatever functions are defined inside that. I am curious what this part here does. And it could be it's just what's this one do? That's ultimateslider.js. Okay, we got our function here, and click function, start to switch, hover, clear timeout. So I put my mouse over it, let me see. Appears like if I put my mouse over it, it doesn't change anymore. Let me take my mouse off of it. Okay, so different lines of code are doing different things on our web page. Now, and let's say specifically say otherwise, pretty much when you find an item put out there on a website like this, they're gonna assume that probably people are going to take it. So if you specifically develop your own code, you don't want anybody to reuse it. You probably need to put some kind of copyright in there. Because people learn from others how to do things. Anyway, that shows you how to use an external library.